And here we are again. It is the GHPC developer stream for December 2022. It's been a heck of a year. Hope everybody's doing okay. We are here to do the usual, which is to talk about what we're doing soon, do some gameplay, do some Q&A, so let's get right into it. As always, let me know early on if there's any audio issues, and I'm joined by Kavi.
Hi all. I would have been there in person, but I'm getting over a cold.
Yep. Yeah, you know, as much as I like him, I can't have him getting me sick, so.
You don't want this.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Let me get my build started up here.
Holy shit, bearded scripter. I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, I'm actually apprenticing with Santa Claus. This is part of the deal. All right.
You look good.
You always say
You look
that.
like you look like you're gonna serve me some whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Or give me a quest.
You will have it neat. All right. What nuggets of
Be a bit
code?
more louder. Let me speak into the microphone.
Hold on, I can try to boost you a little bit.
I don't think you should have to. No, apparently my mic is kind of low. Do it then.
All right, try again.
Hello.
I hope that's better. Let me lower my game volume here. All right. So, what do we have going on? We have quite a few things. As always, we're working on many things at once all the time. Some are not ready to show, some are going into the patch, some are not. Things that I can list. We have done some improvements to particle effects recently, fire, dust, that sort of thing. It's been a long time coming. We have some infantry work that's not ready yet, unfortunately. We've been working on aircraft. There is a new BTR. There are several new missions. Let's let's just get into some missions, you'll see. Which one do I want to play? Let's keep with tradition and open up with Silver Dart.
A fan favorite.
Yeah. Most blunted, to answer that question, I'm currently playing a developer build that I have locally. This is not the Steam build. Also, I see my mic peaking a little bit. Let me know if I'm too loud. Alright, cool.
Everyone likes how you sound.
Well, let's not take it too far.
Glad you're loving the game, Blunted. It has been a relative joy to work on it.
Relative.
Some things suck, but that's just development. Josh ASMR. That's for me.
Ooh, that boy is going.
Oh, he's zooming forward.
I missed. But they called ceasefire. My job's done.
I was gonna say, what's new when he said I missed, but
This is why I bring you on here.
just to neg.
As usual, feel free to ask questions in the chat and we'll get to them.
Yeah. The new dust and fire effects are really cool. This is, I think, my first... I've been stuck in UI for the last couple of weeks. This is my first time really seeing him in action.
Yeah. I really chanced that one. Gotta get a good track.
What sort of references did we use for the amount of dust that is coming off of these?
Videos, testimony from tankers who are not the most trustworthy people in the world, but you know, often it works.
I remember back in the day, there were clouds of dust.
There's I've seen some people ask for less dust when you fire. We've actually already given you less dust than there would be in real life, so I don't think that's changing.
Can we expect to see the Leo 1 soon?
Define soon. I don't know, it's coming soon-ish. We're working on West Germany and USSR, but there's no telling when exactly they'll be finished.
More than likely, before you die, you will see Leo 1. But we don't like to say when that's going to come out.
Yeah, we're not allowed to say when you'll die, so we can't spoil it.
Wait. Okay, yeah, let's go with that. Why does cilantro taste like soap? There's a gene for that.
There is.
You're cursed to be one of the people that have that. I am sorry. Because cilantro is pretty cool. Also, maybe you should just enjoy soap more. Are you being overrun? What is going on here?
Don't pay any attention to that. Okay, Wingman, now is the time. Wingman, please.
You got this.
Wingman, please. Fucking hell. Oh, he's reloading.
Dabbed on. How will you try to introduce new players, or is the casual crowd irrelevant?
Nobody clipped that. I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if you noticed. I just panicked and shot the first tank I saw, which was not the enemy.
I mean, that's what we're going for. We want people to feel pain.
Stop
and fear,
hiding.
Right?
Stop hiding behind the tank. I'm going to disable you. Come on.
To partially answer your question, while Josh is being Josh, new players. I welcome new players. Honestly,
I don't.
I want more accessibility options
I know.
for new players. Hush up. Keep trying to kill this tank.
I need to be reloaded first. I'm in a bit of a pickle. I'm like chains.
I mean, part of the reason we're developing this, part of the onus from Josh was like he wanted to play a great tank game without having to do the wait for a lot of different vehicles, without having a lot of the grind. And I mean, some of that is we have these sim-like elements to try and make it as realistic as possible. But at the same time, we still want it to be fun. Are you dead? Are you done dying, or?
No, they just blew a hatch open, but apparently I'm still alive.
Will we ever see the Brits or the French? That's a theater-related question, and if we decide on a theater that has those guys, then potentially.
Yeah, we would have to have, we'd have to be depicting an area and a time where they're involved. So right now we're doing CENTAG, which is the Central Germany area of operations. That's what NATO called it. That is primarily involving the US, the USSR, and East and West Germany. We know that there's, like, you could potentially say France is involved as well, but we're not doing France for this theater.
Plans to let player change thermal settings like polarity, intensity, etc.
Maybe in the long run, but nothing specific right now. We're a little busy with other stuff.
Yeah. You look kind of young. Have you played those 20-year-old tank games? Boy, howdy, has.
I've played a few. I haven't played all of them. Also, you look kind of young.
No, did you just know you?
Yes, I did. I have no way to prove that because I can't see the chat. Chat's at an advantage right now.
Yeah.
Alright, let's play this again, because, yeah.
Because you want to not suck?
Because, as Enfield just said, this engagement has gone poorly.
True.
Wait, is that Rossman?
I don't know. I thought Walross was Rossman.
No. Pretty sure that's not true. Oh, Jojo. Yep. There we go. I knew it was someone I know.
Steel Battalion. Have you played Steel Battalion?
I have not played that one. Ooh, hello.
Walross is Walross, copy. Well, I'm sorry. Now I know.
Where is this guy? There we go. There's so much dust. Right after I got done saying how we added more dust. How did this happen?
These flames are very nice.
Yeah.
I love seeing those lick up there. Boom. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you get those voice captures from? I mean, on the NATO side, they're intense.
We found them on the side of the road. No, we commissioned them. We got some. We got a mix of voice actors and ex-servicemen to record, and there's the result. I think it turned out pretty well.
Very well. A lot of people like those. Will you ever get animations for gunner dumping dead bodies of the loader or commander out of the hatch so they have space to load their own gun?
Maybe if we finished everything else in the game already.
Yeah, that's very much a flavor sort of piece. I mean, I'd love to see that. That would be grisly and very realistic, I would think, but...
Also, wait a minute. I don't know about that. I'm just thinking more seriously about it because so you're in battle with your friends, right? You've trained with these guys for years or months at least. You're on a first name basis, whatever. Spend all your time together. One of them gets hit, maybe dead. Yeet! Right out of the tank. Let's keep going. Leave him for the birds. That's what you would do. Is that what you're asking for?
He needs space to load up, man. Like, you gotta be pragmatic at that point.
Well,
if I served with you for years and then you died in my tank, you're meat at that point.
Uh-huh.
I just gotta throw you out.
Yep, that's right.
Jettisoned.
I had one condition for our friendship, which was don't die in my tank, and you violated that. Anyway, so now that I think about it, I'm not sure about that one, Chief.
Imagine Kavi in your tank. Would you keep him? Oh, hell no.
I can't wait for multiplayer. It's the co-op with me and Kavi on stream is going to be legendary.
Oh yeah, me, the perfect gunner, action, an acceptable commander. What could go wrong?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's my guy.
Will there be changes to the tanks being able to, trees being able to stop tanks? Oh,
yes,
yeah.
there will.
Absolutely.
One of our to-do list items is to make trees destructible, and we know how to do it even. It's just there's too many things to do, so it hasn't made it to the top of the list yet. Yeah.
Going on to Steam EA has given us some funding to get a few more people involved in the project. That has been that's been a lot of work for Action to kind of onboard people into the new requirements that we've had. But now I think that they're kind of up to speed. They're making progress on their features, so we're gonna start getting some more stuff out soon. I'm really looking forward to some of that stuff.
By the way,
trees like fences and other shit.
By the way, when we say EA, we mean early access. We're not talking about Electronic Arts. You wouldn't think that would be a point of confusion, but I'm sure at least one person has made that mistake.
Right. Thank you. Are there plans to change how thermals see smoke effects?
Yes. There's some shader work that has to be done for smoke and fire and all that to have a concept of temperature. Right now they just kind of, it's sort of luck of the draw, whether they appear white or black in thermals. That will change once we make another pass on those. Mm-hmm. The visual side of the new effects is basically done, but we can always add more texture maps for other purposes, like temperature.
Will there be additional voice lines for damage taken? For example, if the barrel got hit and you can't fire, someone says, "Ah, shit, I can't fire."
They are already recorded. They just need to be added into the voice system, which is yet another task that is on the backlog still.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that we did for this upcoming patch is we started working on AI improvements. Not every issue is fixed yet. There's still going to be some navigation problems. The driving is a bit challenging, but the anti-tank, where?
You get this.
Yeah, one thing that we did fix though was tanks when they have a target or when they're under threat in some way, they will orient their hull toward the threat instead of just sort of sitting there. And they also have improved communication of threats in a platoon, so if someone sees something, they will communicate to the other AI, and then after a moment everyone else will be like, oh yeah, and they'll go in and look for the target. So it'll be a little less easy to cheese them. You can still sneak up like outside of their scanning distance because we don't have cupola monitoring yet. They're only scanning with the forward optics. But once you start engaging, they'll all be like, oh hell no, and they'll turn to target you, and they'll also try to scoot their hulls around to put the front armor toward you. So that should make it a little bit less, you know, cheese fest.
Can I help with Russian voice? We actually already have a good number of.
They can always audition.
Voice assets.
If we're in the middle of the process for recording German stuff, but if you want to help with Russian, go ahead and send an email to info@gunnerheatpc.com. That's also on the website, and you will be able to audition for the voice acting.
Another couple common questions we can get out of the way. Is weather planned? Rain, snow, fog? Yes. In some form or fashion, we are going to have that.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a repair feature? Maybe if not, you know, not something like War Thunder, like 30 seconds, but maybe a 5 to 10 minute sort of thing. It would, if we even wanted to do that, it would be much, much longer because no repairs you can do in the field would, you know, one, be safe, and two, they would take an extremely long time most of the time.
Yeah, you're not going to be fixing your track in 2 minutes while the enemy's firing at you. It's going to be an extended process. So, yeah, it's very likely that we won't do repairs at all. And that's usually the answer we give, just to be safe.
Gotta do the objective and make sure your folks don't die. These aren't necessarily going to be very extended engagements. But I guess it depends on your playstyle.
Mm-hmm. Apparently there's somebody left. It's very odd.
This is God Vision, by the way.
Yes. It is a cool feature.
Avi Vision, yes. Because I definitely use it a lot.
Let's see, what other stuff can I talk about? I already killed those guys.
Potential Polish voice lines needed at some point.
I would not say... Whoa, where is that guy? I would not say that's likely, not anytime soon. Like, we're not going to confirm or deny any future theaters or countries or whatever, but right now our focus is US, USSR, and East and West Germany, so we're not looking for voice acting for anything besides English, Russian, and German. And for those who don't know, the plan is once we're out of early access, so we have I should back up a little bit. We have a roadmap on the website which shows the main points of stuff that we want to do before we're out of early access. Not everything, just the major beats. We always put in little features in between stuff and whenever we get around to it, but those are the main points. I think there's 10 entries on the list, or 11, something like that. Once that's done, the game hits 1.0, and then we start working on additional theaters as DLC. So that's the model. So I know a lot of people wonder, like, what's going on? What are you guys going to do? When's the game finished? Are you going to add other countries? Like, yes, all of that. Just, it takes time. We are a very small team. like exceptionally small. I think people are used to tank games being made by these big companies that have a bunch of microtransaction money coming in, and we do not have the resources that they have, the luxury of just knocking out everything that we want to do immediately. It's not there.
Cash coming in, and like the outsourcing firms and agencies that are able to work with them and really turn out those features really quickly.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, we do have some cash now because of Steam.
It's all relative.
Yeah. It's so we're doing much better than we were before just on Patreon. But at the same time, we are still small and resource limited, so we do our best, all the time, and stuff will get done eventually. Ah, there you are.
You found them?
Yeah.
Good job.
See that big dust cloud behind him because it overpenetrated?
I did.
There we go.
You couldn't kill him in one hit, though?
Nope.
You had to take 2 shots?
That's right. Chat knows why I took 2 shots. And it's not because I'm bad, in case someone's about to say that. It's because of Sabo.
I wasn't gonna say that. I thought it. Will the player be able to call air support artillery in on targets? They can call artillery in on targets.
Oh yeah. Do I have artillery in this mission? I do. Should I bombard myself for the finale?
Why not? Yeah, of course.
Now look what you made me do. I've already won. There's nothing left to prove.
Now you're just flexing.
So
how much infantry will be on the field once they get implemented?
That is dependent on the mission.
We've said in the past that infantry will be required to actually fulfill certain objectives. You'll have to be very, not safe, but you'll have to be thoughtful about how you deploy those infantry and use them.
Yeah, there will be missions where you can only win if the infantry make it to their objective and capture it. So the role of the tank will go from hunt and kill everything to protect the infantry, which will be a cool change up in the way the battles work. Also, anti-tank, I saw a test recently of infantry where there were anti-tank soldiers in the squad, and they did destroy a tank. They're not going to be just scenery, just guys running around that you have to escort, NPC escort. There's going to be squads hiding in cover, forests. You will have to watch out.
Will we get seasonal environmental changes, and will that affect movement over terrain?
Unknown. That takes a bit more work than just slapping a new shader on something, so.
Yep. Same with this next question. Well, kind of same. Do you have bigger campaign plans? There is a bar currently. And the answer is yes.
Yeah, campaign is nothing like it's supposed to be right now. There's one of the things that I changed for the next patch that's already done is there is a system now that monitors the logistics strength of each side based on what's happened in the missions, so that if you start really badly destroying the enemy, like you're just winning, pushing them back, they can no longer field their first line units properly, and they have to bring up more reserves. So there's like a random chance of different types of tanks showing up in missions, and that gets affected now based on how you're doing. And there's also a limit, so like you're not going to see T-72 M1 immediately because that's a later introduction, but once you get farther into the campaign you'll see that. I think I limited the M1 IP as well to simulate like still being brought up or whatever. But yeah, that's just like a very small nod toward where the campaign's eventually going to go. There will be much more like being able to see your specific tankers that you're working with in your platoon, like tracking their progress or whatever, deciding which resources to bring into which missions. There's all kinds of cool stuff coming. The bars are like a bare bones substitute for showing campaign progress because the frontline system isn't ready, the map doesn't change. So it's just so you can actually string missions together for now and have fun, but in the future there will be a whole system there.
Will campaign allow for co-op play?
Yeah, we think so. The multiplayer stuff is still being developed, but our goal is to have multiplayer be like drop in, so you can say, you know what, I want help with this mission, and your friend can join you, as well as like starting a mission in co-op mode, you know, specifically from the beginning.
So when I need Josh to come in and assist me in a particularly nasty campaign mission, but I know he won't, he'll just troll me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason for that.
Yeah, is there something else that people do in co-op mode?
I mean, yeah. Cooperate might be one of the things
No.
to do. Could there be a late war version of the map, more destruction stuff and craters around the map?
That sounds like something to explore once we have the game done.
Mm-hmm. It's a very cool idea.
It is.
That would be neat.
And we do have plans for improving the map, like all these buildings are placeholder.
Yeah.
And there will be more scenery, more sense of it's a real place that people live and had to suddenly upend their lives.
Stop and leave because, hey, a war.
Yeah. Surprise tanks. Ooh, look at that antenna.
Whoa, 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 whoa. We will get your patch to fix that in at some point.
Oh, you know, at this point I kind of like it. I mean, the patch was meant to turn off antenna physics at long range where it doesn't matter, but then it also killed the after action review wobbling, so, you know, is it actually worth it? That's the thing.
I mean, it's your game. You tell me. You like it, it's it. That's it.
Yeah. I saw someone asking about mines. We have talked about it internally. We're not sure exactly how that'll look yet, so I guess stay tuned.
It makes sense, but we want to see how we want it to play out.
There's something else I wanted to show.
Just joined stream. What have I missed? Well, I'm Kavi. This is Action.
Mm-hmm. This is the GHPC developer stream for the month of December 2022. Let me see if I can remember.
We're just going to restart the whole thing.
Yeah, that's right. Let's play a new mission.
Playing some new missions and showing off some new effects. That's what you've missed so far. Are you guys considering adding RNG influences to the campaign? For example, an HQ or resupply point miles behind the front line, getting hit by RD, and resulting in you or the enemy having fewer toys to play with?
That's a very specific example, but
Yeah.
Other than that, the answer is yes, there will be stuff that happens in the campaign. Sometimes it'll be stuff that you can influence, you can decide where it goes, but sometimes it'll just be stuff.
Will buildings have any level of destructibility?
That's unclear. Buildings being destroyed, or being destructible rather, puts a lot of extra strain on the systems, and it takes away a lot of optimization potential, like sightline calling stuff. So we'll see how it goes.
A lot of these features are like, oh, that would be really nice, but we are still working on core gameplay elements, and if we wanted to, if it was an option to say, hey, do we want this really cool thing that takes up a lot of performance that'll only be used by like 5% of people, versus I've got to make some new gameplay changes, we're going to go with the gameplay changes as priority first.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
What games do you enjoy? I enjoy Hitman 3.
I also enjoy Hitman 3.
Sometimes Josh and I just talk about Hitman 3.
Freelancer mode's going to be very cool.
I'm really looking forward to Freelancer mode.
I play a lot of Fallout 4, actually. Like, whenever I'm just want to do something comfy, I just go back to that.
Yeah, right now I'm playing Dying Light 2, because I missed out on that when it first came out.
I've been getting into...
You dropped a flare!
No, the enemy did. They seem to know we're coming.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go to Wedge. I've been getting into Warno as well recently. It's pretty neat. It's
Man,
set in
GHPC when. Man, I can't trust anyone in GHPC. It's already there.
Mm-hmm. The most stable M60 optic.
Oh yes, this is not a bug. This is a feature, everyone.
Except it's kind of dark, so it's hard to see what's going on.
I've heard good things about regiments.
Yeah, I still need to try regiments.
I'm gonna let Josh try regiments before I decide that I don't like it, because I'm not into that kind of game. I'll watch you play it. How about that?
Kavi's a hater. What is going on here? So I'm going into this mission blind, and not just because of the darkness. This is an actual new mission.
I've heard of Squad. I've seen a lot of Squad gameplay. I've never played it.
I played Squad. I think I was a backer for Squad, actually, Kickstarter.
Thank you for your support.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, newcomers to the stream. Welcome. How long will take the tanks from work in progress? We don't give time frames on those.
Yeah. There's supposed to be a hole in the trees somewhere. Oh, thank you, Illumination Flare.
Can you give us a hint of what we can expect in the next update?
Well,
No.
You're gonna have... But... There's gonna be several things that are done, like improved effects. There's some things that we're still working on, so I'm not gonna promise, because we don't do that. But I guess you'll see.
There will be some UI.
Oh yeah,
additions.
objectives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so one of the things that's annoying about missions in the current build is that you don't know what you're doing if you don't remember from the briefing. So now we have a briefing that you can pull up in the mission. I completely forgot about this. Thanks for bringing up UI.
I'm so glad I could work on this.
Yeah, so you can...
forget about it.
Yeah, you know I love you. There is a briefing in the mission now, and I don't have it in this build, but you'll be able to see objectives listed separately, like in the corner of the screen. So when you complete requirements for the mission, you'll see them get checked off, or if you miss one, it'll get crossed out, that kind of thing. It should be much easier to see what's going on, what you're supposed to be doing.
Someone in the chat, very cool, Kavi. God, I feel awful now.
Thank you,
Time of
Kavi.
day in mission briefing. When,
Very cool.
Now that we actually have some of this boilerplate set up, a lot of that metadata is much easier for me to add in. I'm not promising it'll be on this update, but it can be added soon.
Yeah.
Can you make night battles more common in the campaign?
We could put night battles in the campaign eventually. We're planning to.
I thought the time was already randomized for that summer.
It was randomized before, but it would generate values that were like outside of the acceptable range, and you would get, remember the thing with the sky being black and the ground being light?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was what happened. So whoever asked for random times in campaigns, that was your fault, and thank you.
Just blaming the supporters. That's great.
That's right.
We do it well.
Ooh. Am I out of touch? No, it's the community who are wrong.
There's a reason I try not to go on the Steam forums, just for that. What do you guys think about the game Wing Commander? Never played it.
Sir, this is a GHPC stream.
I mean, he's interested. They're older games. You got your influences from somewhere, right?
Yeah. Allegedly played a bunch of old tank games. I think this BRDM needs to go.
I mean, that's your job, right? Are the sabot pedals modeled as projectiles too, as in there is a chance to unintentionally bonk infantry when firing APF SDS?
I don't think that's the case right now, but now that you mention it, I could probably put in a collision detection for that.
There you go. You just pushed back a feature that he was working on, so he could put in some sabot pedals. Have you ever played War Thunder? I've never played or heard of this game.
War what? Is this like some kind of video game?
Is that a ripoff of the game World of Tanks? I don't know what. It could be anything, honestly.
Okay,
I'm
so
familiar with War Thunder.
The extremely observant might notice there's a vehicle in this mission that is not usually in missions. There's the BTR doing what it was designed for. Yeah, so I forgot to mention that, except very briefly at the beginning, I think. Tank where? How did you see that?
When multi-crew comes, will the whole tank, except for the loader, of course, have to be crewed by humans, or could you have a human TC and driver and an AI gunner?
It'll be mixed. You'll be able to combine.
You'll lose granularity that way, but that means that you won't have to try and like reseat yourself to do a different role, etc.
Let's just watch the C-55 cook-off and look for questions.
Will there be a timed race mission with the BTR?
Yeah, so play the rally mission and decide whether you play UAZ or BTR. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure about that.
We make multiplayer and people just use it to do like Mario Kart.
I fully expect that if we make a mission editor and people can use the event system, someone will make a race mission where all you have to do is hit the area trigger at the end and then just race each other. That'd be actually pretty fun.
Any chance of ERA making an appearance? That's not fielded by this time.
Yeah, ERA, it wasn't really out there in 85 yet. It was on its way. They'd already invented it, but they hadn't lined it up at Fulda yet, so we're probably not going to put it in right away. I mean, we are expanding to other times and places after we're 1.0, so don't worry. But don't expect to see it like in the next 2 months or whatever.
Yeah. There are two. How big is the programming team in like numbers? There are 2 full-time developers. You're listening to them right now. And then we have what, 3 contractors at this point? Maybe. I might be forgetting someone. The contractors do not work full-time. They work on very specific features, and in general it's mostly Josh, and then sometime I'm around and I buy Josh a sandwich. Nah, we both do full-time work. What feature do you want to see most in the game as a developer? More campaign stuff. I would say more campaign, like built-up functionality around that.
Yeah, that's not a bad answer. I think campaign's really going to be what makes people feel like the game is actually finished or working as intended. Because right now, I think the most common complaint from people playing this, or one of the most common reasons that people would refund it, is they can't make their own fun in it. Like, there's some people it clicks, like you play all the missions and you say, man, this is really cool, like the tanks are really neat, I like the experience. And some people want to have structure to the game, which is legit. So maybe once we have that structure in place with the campaign and more of a guided experience and something to work toward, it will capture that attention better. I saw someone in the chat ask no 50 cal. There is indeed a 50 cal, but it doesn't have its own independent site yet, so I'm not in a hurry to use it. One of these trucks is still alive. I think it's this one. Maybe.
Will there be alternative history DLCs like a 90s Soviet army instead of a Russian Federation one? We really get to kind of play around with what we want to do with history. Like, the first theater here is kind of an alternate history already. It's Cold War gone hot in a very specific place. There remains to be seen if we want to do anything else with that, but we have the flexibility to do so. Will you do something with pirates? Like,
No.
on a ship? Like at sea?
Are you asking, like, are we gonna put in some kind of tricky thing where the game breaks if you pirate it? Is that what you mean by pirates?
I'm so intrigued. Yes, that is what they're asking.
Okay. I mean, if that was the case, why would we say?
Right, yeah. If you pirate the game, we will come to your house and then sternly say, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. What part of Cold War you don't get? I'm not sure if that was meant for me or someone in chat. So
Probably me, because I said Cold War went hot. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm gonna say it's for me. Zvich, I accept your critique.
Someone is spamming elimination flares. I think it's the enemy, because I didn't call them. All right.
They
Well,
really
anyway.
want you. They really want you to be seen.
There's another thing I was gonna show. Oh, I remember.
All the tanks turn into rubber ducks if you pirate it. Ha. RTX GHPC. Our system, we already have issues with optimization now that we want to fix, and turning people's machines into just space heaters is not one of our goals at the moment.
Yeah. There is some rendering stuff that we're working on, especially for terrain, but it wasn't quite ready to show for stream, so. Right now, just the new effects for the patch. We'll see what else happens.
Oxy, I will not turn your PC into a bomb. I don't need that on my conscience.
Options for the range / proving ground to practice drills. That is planned. Right now, it's using a mission. When you see all those vehicles, the showcase, that is just a mission that nothing happens in. So we could make other missions where there's objectives, like shooting targets or whatever. In fact, I think those targets on the range, they can fold up and down. There's code for it. It's just not being used yet. But in the future, yeah, we're planning to do that.
I should really do that. I should really finish that, actually.
We should really do, like, everything in the game.
We should really just all of it.
Just make the game.
How have we not done that yet?
Yeah, like, this is a crazy idea. Okay, guys, I just thought of something. What if we finish the game? What if we work on the game? That would be crazy.
Whoa. That's nutty.
It's never been done before, but I think we could do it. God, look at that. Look at that flame torch.
It's so great. It's so awesome. When you puncture a hole, I think I saw this in one of the first missions you were playing. When you puncture a hole into the side, you still get that flame kind of spilling out of the side, right?
Yeah, it looks a little different now. Before it looked like a stock blowtorch effect. Now it kind of it kind of flames up. It wraps around.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
If you pirate the game, Kavi comes to your house and eats your cookies. No, I will not do that.
No, Kavi comes to your house and his dog eats your cookies. Get it right.
Last thing he needs.
He's also a bit of a brat.
I mean, look where he gets it from. Not me, my wife.
You can't say that. What if she's watching?
She's totally watching. Hi, Margaret. She just picked that up. A little bit of a lag in the stream. It's cool how you guys keep in touch with the community through Discord and dev streams. If only other devs did the same sort of stuff.
You know what?
Development Go ahead. No.
I'm just gonna say I sympathize with these other devs because it's a lot of work to keep up with the community. It's still a good thing to do, but
Yeah.
some of y'all make it hard to keep up with the community. I'll just say that.
Development it's a lot of things, and being like a one-man band for being the marketing person, doing any of the social media, and then leading the actual development stuff, it takes a lot. Like, props to the devs who can do that, and props to the devs who are just like, you know what, here's a blog post, I'll see you guys in 2 months.
Yeah.
And gonna go from there.
When I was strictly a consumer of games, a gamer if you will, I was always like, why don't the devs this, why don't the devs that, they should talk more, they should do whatever with mods, they should listen, like, very, very kind of one-sided approach. The experience of making a game and being on the other side of that coin, I completely sympathize with devs now, like 100%. If the devs are like, no, we're not going to release this, we're not going to say anything, it'll happen when it happens, I'm like, yep, that's fair. Understood.
That actually bit us a little earlier, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years back, when we showed off Bradley. And we had these plans for wanting to do a really nice trailer and do a bunch of other things with it, and then we just found that the stuff that we wanted to do did not match with the number of people we had, and just the resources that we had on hand. And so we would get these questions constantly about, like, oh yeah, you've got more stuff on the Bradley, when's the Bradley, when's this? And we were just like, oh wow, we made a big mistake.
Yeah, that was on us.
That off.
We showed it when we thought we were about to finish it, and then we got sidetracked on a bunch of other stuff, so that was a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Don't show things that aren't ready. That's why when people ask, like, when's this coming, we always say, who knows? Because if we tell you what we think is going to happen and we're wrong, then now we're the guys that lied. But if we tell you don't know, you'll see it when it shows up, then it's a nice surprise.
When is Kavi Coin coming? Kavi Coin is already... I have a 3D printer. I got a 3D printer to give to Josh for him to do some 3D printing stuff, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll get it set up and we'll print a Kavi Coin and some other extra stuff. And, like, it's just sitting there. It's literally in my way if I wanted to leave my office.
I mean, with such useful tasks as print a Kavi coin, it is amazing that we haven't used it yet.
It's stuff like that that means you're not getting a Kavi Coin.
Someone's off the Kavi coin list.
Look at what you did. Well, Infantry have voice lines planned.
Maybe eventually. For the most part, you're not going to be talking to the infantry or hearing them, so... I know Lancer really wants to record infantry voice lines, though, because he, bless his heart, was infantry, so...
Well, he wants to record it just from the scuttlebutt point of view.
Yeah.
From a functional point of view, right?
Probably both, but yeah, he wants to put in, like, the combat lines for infantry. Like, if you happen to be in a 113 or something where you can hear the infantry nearby talking. Admiral Koro asks, when will multiplayer be a thing in your wonderful game? First of all, thank you, first time chatter. Thanks for joining the stream. But the answer is, we can't say. Because if we say, then we might be wrong. It's far enough out that we're still working on our internal prototypes, so it would be too dangerous to be explicit at this point. It's last on the roadmap for a reason. We know that multiplayer has complications. We want to give ourselves as much time as possible to account for that. If it happens to show up earlier, or maybe if patrons get a test of it earlier, then that would be cool. Otherwise, just plan to wait a little while.
Will there be a cheese DLC where we counterattack their own world? I'm glad you found that. I'm glad you know about it. And for anyone else who doesn't know what they're talking about, you should play the Proving Ground map and, just fire at some of the targets. See what happens.
Zero Darian asks, will the crew get injured when you ram something really fast, or will tracks break when you take a big leap? So we have a collision damage system. It's only on the UAZ right now. You can see it working in the rally mission where you just drive to the end. That system needs a little bit of tuning before we would implement it in other vehicles. We don't want to have incidents like, hey, I slowed my game down and I went over a small bump and everybody died. Like, that would not be fun. So it's going to have to wait a little bit. I keep forgetting to show the actual feature I was trying to show. Let me pull up a new mission. We're running out of time here, actually.
Oh yeah, 5 minutes
So
left.
the way this usually goes is we do an hour of stream, and then we do another hour for Patreon Q&A. So if you are a patron of the Gunner Heat PC project, you can join the Discord and you can ask us questions one-on-one in the Q&A, and that's every month. That's not just after streams, every 2 months. That is every single month, usually in the first week. We also show teasers that the public does not see, and it's just a pretty chill time. I actually really look forward to doing those every month.
Oh yeah, this is nice.
It used to be that if you joined the Patreon, it was the only way to get all the vehicles in the demo. That was before we were on Steam. Now that we are on Steam, there's a little less tangible reward for being a patron, but not only do you help us with the funding, you also get access to early work-in-progress teasers. There's if you are an MBT tier or above, you get exclusive first look at stuff that we're working on, including things that are not coming in the next patch, just kind of stuff that's happening, stuff that we thought was cool and ready to show off. So
Is it a cult? No, it's not. It's Patreon. Standard thing. Also, people asking for leaks, that's actually a thing that we do in the Q&A most times.
yeah, that's a patron thing. When is this patch coming? That is a good question. So this patch, it has a few things left to work on. We're not going to release it today after the stream. We are going to release it, I would say it's safe to assume it's the first half of the month. But I'm not going to give a specific date because, like I said, if it's not absolutely certain, set in stone, we don't want to set up false expectations. But soon. Soon is a good answer.
Soon is a good answer.
Okay, let me kill a T-72 so I can actually show this.
What graphics setup is being used? That's a very generic question.
Yeah.
Josh is currently running a system with a graphics card.
Mm-hmm.
It has a CPU. Sometimes
Wait,
he
the
uses
graphics
a
card
mouse.
has a CPU?
I mean, it's a GPU, but the system also has a CPU.
Mm-hmm.
Patreon link. I think we have the. Is that not in our description?
I don't actually know. It's
It
Patreon. Yeah, okay, it is in the stream, the Twitch description.
Yeah. Patreon.com/GunnerHeatPC. You can also go to GunnerHeatPC.com and you will find links to all of our stuff. Discord, Redbubble, if you want a shirt, which is actually kind of cool.
I think we're working on new merch designs, but they're not quite there yet.
Does your PC also have a monitor? I hope so.
It actually has
hope so.
2.
Well, look at you.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on up. Any chance the new build will be out by Christmas? We'll see.
I just said first half of the month.
We'll see.
When do you guys think Christmas is?
Josh, we'll see. Come on. Alright. Some actual last minute questions. Will I be able to give orders to infantry later on?
Only if they're attached to your vehicle, like hard attached. If you're just being a battle taxi, it's not necessarily true that you'll be able to control them.
Does it have a USB port? Oh my god. Will we see thermal reflections in the thermal viewers at some point?
Depends. Thermals need another pass on the shaders. We don't know when that work's gonna happen. So, I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Shaders are... I'm a programmer, and shaders are magic to me. Like, I have a very general understanding, and we have worked with some very talented people who know that shit.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Is this one recent enough?
M829 APFSDS in the background?
Yes. That is correct. 120 millimeter.
Everyone always asks about it.
If you would like to also have a full-size 120 millimeter replica in your gaming room, look up makersteve on eBay. He makes them. All right.
It's good quality.
We're getting close to the end here, so if anybody has extra questions, say them now.
We already said Patreon. The game is on Steam. It is early access. If you're a first-time viewer and you like what you see here, please consider supporting us and grabbing a copy. Once you have the Steam game, the updates are just going to come to it. There is no Patreon requirement or anything. Are the axles breaking? Is that what I'm looking at right there?
Yes. This is a little detail that I snuck in while I was reviewing stuff. The axles will melt over time now, because I don't know how many people stare at photos of destroyed tanks in their spare time, but I have seen a few, and they always are just sunk down onto their wheels, completely burned out. All the structural integrity is gone. They're just flat. So, yeah, now in addition to blackening with the scorching and everything, they'll also settle down on their suspension over time. Nice. And you saw that happening. That's why I parked it in front of this. I was hoping it would melt, and it did.
Well, you got me. That's very cool. Yeah, game's out on Steam. Pick it up. You get all the updates, and thanks for your support if you do.
Sleepy T72 Hall, that is correct. All right. I believe it is time to move to the Patreon Q&A. So, for those of you who are on Patreon, we'll see you in just a few minutes. For everybody else, thanks for stopping by. We love you, sort of, a little bit, just enough. And have fun playing the game.
Happy holidays, do whatever, enjoy.
Next stream in February.
Oh, yeah. See you then.
Yep. See ya.